Formagi YouTube video K Lia Oper Jo Tum Ny Story Lik KDHS K Oper Tai Men Strong Hook Lik K Du. Hook Jandar. Suspenseful our curiosity Sai Barpor Hona Chaye K Mary Vaur Engage Ho Jn our video Ko NTK Decken Whispers of the Heart. The wind moved softly across the wooden porch. A faint echo rose from somewhere inside the house. The sound felt like a breath brushing against the back of the protagonist's neck. The dim hallway stretched forward like a narrow tunnel. Every step created a hollow thump that trembled beneath the floorboards. The air smelled of old paper and fading perfume. A picture frame on the wall tilted slightly. Its glass surface reflected a pale shimmer that did not match any light in the room. The protagonist felt their heartbeat rising with each uneven inhale. A soft whisper drifted from the room ahead. It had no clear shape, no clear tone, yet it carried a strange familiarity. The voice seemed to call gently, almost tenderly, from the darkness. The protagonist reached the doorway and stopped. The curtains inside swayed although the windows remained fully closed. A chill crawled along their spine, sharp and electric. Something moved behind the curtains. The silhouette looked human for a moment, then melted into the shadows. A wave of dread tightened in the protagonist's chest. The whisper returned, much closer this time. It brushed against the ear like a warm breath forming a name the protagonist had not heard in years. Their hands trembled as the room fell unnaturally silent. The floor creaked behind them. The air thickened as if someone stood only inches away. The whisper shifted into a low, trembling exhale that slid over their skin. The protagonist turned slowly, breath unsteady. A shape waited in the dark hallway. Its presence pressed forward. Heavy and filled with an emotion that felt painfully familiar, the shape waited in the dark hallway. Its presence pressed forward, heavy and filled with an emotion that felt painfully familiar. The protagonist struggled to breathe, as if the air had turned into a weight that settled on the chest. A faint light flickered behind the shape, revealing the curve of a shoulder and the outline of a bowed head. The figure stood completely still, yet the atmosphere vibrated with a quiet tension that felt alive. The protagonist's hands curled into fists as a wave of warmth moved across their palms, as if someone held their fingers from within the shadows. A soft inhale rose from the figure. It sounded fragile, almost broken, like someone who had cried for far too long. The hallway walls seemed to bend inward with the sound, shrinking the space until it felt impossible to escape. The protagonist stepped back, but the floor groaned as though resisting the movement. The figure lifted its head slightly, revealing a glimmer of reflected light where eyes should have been. The glow inside those eyes moved like slow embers, brightening with every breath. A whisper slid across the hall. The voice carried a memory the protagonist had buried deep, a memory tied to a promise once made beneath a tree on a warm summer afternoon. The whisper repeated the promise word by word, each syllable filled with a quiet ache. The protagonist felt a sharp sting in the chest as the old emotion resurfaced. The house trembled subtly, as if the walls themselves recognized the memory that had been spoken aloud. Dust drifted down in soft spirals, catching the dim light like falling ash. The figure stepped forward with a movement that did not match the sound of the floor. The air grew warmer, then colder, shifting in unsteady waves that brushed the protagonist's skin. The whisper softened into a tender murmur, almost like an apology carried through years of silence. An old wooden clock near the end of the hallway ticked once, loud and hollow. The hands of the clock twitched backward, then forward, then froze entirely. The sound echoed through the house with a strange resonance, as if time itself had paused to listen. The protagonist felt a pressure on the shoulder, gentle but unmistakable. The touch sent a surge of warmth down the spine, followed by a sudden chill that wrapped